Ever wonder if you could be framed for a crime? Well, you can because of the advantages of DNA. DNA, which is also known as deoxyribonucleic acid, is a self-replicating material present in nearly all living organisms like bears, birds, and fish. And it is the main constant of chromosomes. It is the carrier of genetic information. DNA is located in the nucleus of our cells, which is located in the center, and it is made up of smaller molecules called nucleic acids. These nucleic acids are arranged in a sequence. The sequence tells the cells of our bodies how, where, and when to build our features, like our hands, our feet, and our eyes. If the sequence for a particular trait isn't in our genetic code, our bodies won't build it. So DNA is considered the universal language of life because all known organisms use the same four nucleotide bases, which are adenosine, thymidine, cytosine, and guanosine. The Human Genome Project starts off by developing the process of producing maps of the entire genetic makeup of a human being. Once you have a roadmap of where every gene is located, knowing where each gene resides in the chromosome, the bad genes, like the other ones, can be disease or cancer, or other undesirable traits can be sought out. DNA sequencing allows us to make comparisons between the normal versions of a gene and disease-causing versions of a gene, determining the order of nucleotides in a DNA strand. This has expanded our knowledge towards a certain genetic disease and where our genes are located. This knowledge is useful for people to understand so we can get an understanding of where and why these genetic diseases are formed. Which is, ever wonder if you could be framed for a crime? So scientists in Israel determined that it is possible to fabricate DNA evidence at the scene of a crime. You can just engineer a crime scene. Any biology undergraduate can perform this, said Dr. Dan Frumkin. Scientists tried this out. They fabricated DNA in two ways. One required a real tiny DNA sample, which was a strand of hair or saliva from a cup. They amplified the tiny sample into a large quantity of DNA. Of course, a drinking cup or a piece of hair might be left at a crime scene, but blood or saliva is more believable. So for the second experiment, scientists took blood from a woman to configure it to remove the white blood cells and which contained DNA to the remaining red blood cells that they added that had been amplified from a man's hair. Since the red blood cells don't carry any DNA, all of the genetic material in the blood samples was from the man. When technology changes, the balance between attacker and defender changes, but when automated systems do the detecting, the results are different. So an example is like face recognition, so software can be fooled by cosmetic surgery. Overall, I do agree with using technology to be able to frame someone for doing a crime they did not commit, because as a scientist, Dan Frumkin said, you can basically engineer a crime scene without being a professional, and they proved their theory with 2 examples on ways you can do it, which conclude anyone with little knowledge of biology is qualified to do this. The end.